go.
Right. Bye, boys.
Bye.
See you later. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. And also to everyone that's listening, welcome to this podcast.
Oh,
fancy, fancy.
I feel like I have to have a cool voice now.
Now
with podcast.
It's gonna get quiet, kind of podcasty.
Yeah.
Was that wasn't podcasty.
I don't know.
We're gonna roll with it.
It's great.
So hi guys, welcome back. And today we're obviously doing tea talk, and we've got our tea, and I'm here with some of my very dear friends. Oh no, I did it with the plate. Sorry, it's so awkward.
We're cheersing for those of you listening on the podcast.
And I'm pretty excited because the friends that are sitting with me today, like I said, are dear friends of mine, people that I just have fallen so in love with.
Oh my gosh.
So to my
We're
left,
obsessed with you.
thank you. I'm obsessed with both of you. So we have to my left the person who said she's obsessed with me, Bonnie Kate. Bonnie Kate, round of applause, everyone! Yay! And then to her left, another person I'm obsessed with, Miss Tiffany. Tiffany. And I'm just so excited to be sitting here and talking with both of them. I've actually done tea talks with both of these ladies individually. Both of them have the most beautiful stories just about the journey of life that they've been through, and there's a lot that I feel like you can garner from their stories. So if you haven't heard their individual talks, I will link those down below, because I'm just so happy that I got to capture this to share with you guys and not just keep their stories to myself. It's really cool. So, yes, now today, before we dive in, this is going to be an interesting conversation today. I'll tell you why in a second. But we are sipping 3 different flavors of tea, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you made my tea. What? Oh, I'm sipping, what, white cucumber?
Yes.
Here, I haven't taken a sip yet.
Tell me what you think. I've never tried
Can
it.
I try it too?
Ooh!
I'm not sick.
What is it?
I'll go from the other side.
That's good!
Do you want to try my cinnamon?
Yeah, I'm
So
gonna try
I have the same tea that I had in my last one, which is hot cinnamon sunset.
Hot cinnamon sunset, that's what this is?
No, that's
this one.
white cucumber.
Oh,
And
that's a
that's
different
Okay,
kind
I
of
like it. I officially like
Isn't it good?
It's
Can I
taste your
really
cinnamon?
good.
Yes.
I think I like your cinnamon one even better than this. What one are you drinking?
Same,
Tiffany?
it's cinnamon, but it's less herbal.
Interesting. Yeah.
Are you drinking the same one?
Different cinnamon.
I feel like it.
Right?
I don't know. It tastes. I think mine's less watered down, but it's the same thing.
Special talk
This
we're
is
having today.
real tea talk.
It's a tea tasting.
That's
It's
what's
50
happening.
different flavors.
I love that we all got... Wait, so you guys didn't get different flavors. It's the same flavor, but different types
Yep.
of tea.
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
Gotcha. I didn't think I liked cinnamon, but I think I just officially changed my
It's
mind.
very sweet, without any sugar.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good, although I am eating my own hair. Oh, I think that's the hair off the sweater. There were a couple reviews that said this sweater does shed a tiny bit.
What, are you allowed to say where it's from?
Yeah,
or
it's
is it
anthropology.
Oh, of course.
Shouldn't shed if it's
let
anthropology,
me feel
probably.
it again.
But it's not too dramatic.
It's really soft.
It's a cozy.
It's cute, huh?
Can we pass it around? Can it be like the traveling
the
sweater?
group sweater,
Yeah.
like the sisterhood of the traveling pants, but it's the
sweater
sisterhood of the
version.
traveling sweater.
Yes.
Very exciting. So the reason I said today was going to be interesting is because it's going to be a little all over the map. I'm kind of relating this to Joe Rogan podcast. This is the second time I've mentioned him, because what he'll do is he'll bring friends on and they just kind of talk. And I feel like you guys are the most interesting people to have conversations
Also, we
with.
have no problem talking.
Yeah, so I'm like,
Way
let's
too
just
long.
sit, let's just chat, and bring up things that have maybe been on our hearts or minds lately. So, I
Love
mean, I
that.
have ideas. I have, topic starters. Also, I have to say as well, this is up for How to Be Happy January. If you're listening or not watching, or you're just watching this, How to Be Happy January is a series on my channel. This is the 6th year, I believe, that I've done this.
Wow, that's amazing.
Isn't that crazy? And it's all around just the topic of happiness, but from a holistic perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I feel like part of the reason I never liked that title, but I ran with it, is because I never wanted it to seem like I'm happy all the time and this is how you can too. It's really just the conversation of happiness.
Yes.
So this is going up during
I
that
love it
time
so much.
because I know it's my sweater. They're right. Oh my god, my sweater is shedding. Anthropology, come on.
the more excited you get, the more comes
the more
off
flies off of me. I'll try not to get too excited. I'll try to keep back.
I don't mind. Give it to me. Give
It's
us all the
amazing.
excitement.
All right, well, then I'll give you
sorry.
all the excitement, all of the puff balls. It really is. Oh my god, there it goes.
You don't even have to wave your arm.
but
The
does it
sweater
land in your
is
tea?
feeling your
It's
emotion.
all on my pants.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh,
It's perfect.
okay.
It's
Well,
perfect.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just
I
gonna
like it.
embrace the fact that it's cozy.
Yep.
So,
And it's cozy.
okay, so guys, because I have ideas, if not, if you guys don't jump in, but is there anything that's been on your heart lately? Anything that you've been thinking about a lot, dealing with? Anything that we were talking about in private?
Yeah. Honestly, yes. Like when you said Happy January, I was thinking, well, I'm thinking a lot of people would probably need to hear about that because you're in the winter.
Yeah.
I guess, you know, like most of your followers are in the United States.
Yeah, most of them are.
But how to deal, like, if there's an event in your life that's making you sad that you know what it is, you can identify it, that's one thing. But then there's like a general kind of
Sadness.
heaviness that can fall, and how to like how to turn that over, you know, like how to turn that into something that you can cope with.
Yeah.
That's something I struggle with.
Just
Every general sadness, like whenever obviously sad seasonal affective disorder, like it's a thing.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would love to talk to you girls about it because it's kind of a current thing for me.
Like just dealing with depression
Just
right
dealing
now.
with it's depression, but it's like, I guess people rank depression based on like, I can't get out of bed, I'm extremely depressed, or I just kind of get up and go through the motions, but I'm not feeling great about it, or you know, like it's different levels. Right.
Yeah.
And then I think a lot of people do struggle with maybe a low level of depression, but they don't really identify it as depression because it's not so obvious, you know, like you're up and about.
It's more just like a moderate funk.
Kind of a
like
funk.
a little cloud.
Funk, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't feel quite myself. And I think that's completely valid and worth talking about, you know, like,
Definitely.
yeah, because it's something that I feel for sure. And that's why creating things and being with friends and
It's so
sharing
vital.
things, that alone is so healing, and it can snap you out of it, and it's something that I have to be really intentional about. Because the way that I drift into it is I'll just start staying in more, and I'll just
it's the worst.
It's a very subtle thing.
It's a very
is
subtle
subtle.
thing. And it's hard because, I don't know about you, but like, this is probably exactly what you're going to say. Like, I like staying in. Like, I'm like, cozy time.
Totally.
But it, like, is such a, like, a fine line and a small change to where all
it's
of a
a
sudden.
heart issue more than it is, like,
Yeah.
maybe people from the outside won't notice as much, especially for, like, me, where you kind of just, like, overcompensate with sunshine. But, like, there's an inside heart feeling of, like, heaviness or fatigue, or just kind of feeling like,
I'm just tired.
like you're not breathing in like fresh air the same way, like, or you're I don't know, just a little slower, or dressing not as whatever as you normally would.
I go
kinda
out
like
in
we
my
were talking about.
PJs, like I will stay in my PJs all day long. I'll go to the store. I will go on a date. Last night.
Did you go out in your PJs?
Nate,
there's something kind of sweet about
that.
No,
yes, totally. But last night, the thought entered my mind. It'd be nice to dress up. No, I'm not gonna dress up because I'm sad.
Yeah,
it was like obvious.
Isn't it? It's so hard. And then you're like, which do I follow? Do I like take care of myself, like baby myself and just chill, or is it like no, like what we were saying? Do I need to get up and do it?
And there's no wrong answer.
No, I think that for people listening, like, it's so knowing yourself. For me, like, it's a fine balance of like, yes, you do need to take care of yourself and take time to rest and like be still, and that's okay. Like, you don't have to be like going and doing and happy all the time. Like, there is a time and seasons for like, you know, thinking and being still, but there's also time to like push yourself and choose to be joyful. For me, like, I think because I have such a constant monster in my back that is chronic pain, I have to be like very active daily to fight it. Like, I can't just, you know, if I like land in and being like, oh, I just don't feel good and I'm just gonna start acting off of my feelings, I will like tank and burn and crash really hard. Like, for me personally, I do need to push myself regularly and be like, get up, choose the little good things, like, see the beautiful, like, don't be overcome by the bad. Like, there is good, like, you know, there's so much bombarding us, whether it's like another horrific thing on the news, or like, that's been especially hard for me lately. Like, there's been so many like shootings and every time it like knocks me down because I just feel all the things, and I know what it's like, and then I imagine like, well, what if someone was in that and like they didn't have the same kind of peace that I had, and then it's just like this hard terminal like I don't know, pit in my stomach kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I can't, like, there needs to be a balance of, like, sitting in that and feeling that and, like, facing it, like, not being too scared and, like, distracting myself with happy things, but then also, like, seeing it, feeling it, but then choosing to, like, turn from it and, like, speak out about it, but also see the beauty still. Not be overwhelmed by the bad. Like, choose to, like, speak out, like, good and, like, I don't know, be a light, notice the light, praise, like, the good kind of stuff.
Notice the light. I like that. Noticing it around you. To those of you that don't know, she mentioned a shooting, Bonnie Kate, and you can go watch, like I said, both of their Tea Talks, but she was a victim of the shooting that happened in Aurora, Colorado. So that's kind of just if you were like, what's going on?
Yeah, what is this?
So like I said, you can watch the whole thing down below.
The Batman movie. How many years ago was it?
5
years.
Like, which is crazy that it's already been 5 years. And actually it feels longer and shorter. It's such a weird mixture of things.
Yeah, it's crazy. You kind of made me think about, like, I don't even know how to formulate the sentence, so help me if you kind of know what I'm thinking or asking.
Yeah.
But, like, emotions are such a tricky thing because
they're sneaky.
You know, I grew up for a long time thinking and believing, like, don't listen to your emotions because they're fickle, they'll lie to you, and you have to just push. And then when I got older, within recent years, I started thinking, well, no, your emotions are kind of a guide and they give you an indication as to what is going on.
Yep.
But, like, once again, you get what I'm saying right now. I think that emotions are so, like, how do you navigate that in the world of happiness? When do you trust it? When do you not trust it?
You can't totally base, like, if I were to base my actions and my life off of what my emotions were, I don't think I would be alive. Like, and I'm not meaning to be dramatic, but, like, there's so many hard, like, intense feelings that we human beings feel and are bombarded with. And it's, like, a weird balance of, like, allowing yourself to feel things and not just being a robot and blocking it off. But like feeling things, not numbing it out, but then also not letting those rule the way you live and act and be. It's like absorbing but processing and doing life still.
And this is something that I feel anyone who's gone through grief and like this in the Tea Talk that I did with Nikki, this was what I shared about was tragic loss or like a series of tragedies and how it can turn everything upside down where your feelings are all over the map. Like it's very confusing, but every feeling is valid. And I think that's the thing too. Like when I was younger, I was like a hothead emotionally. I was all over the place and I couldn't trust it. I mean, I was grounded constantly. Like I would love to be little Tiffany so much.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
Little Spitfire Tiffany.
I had so many emotions and I had no filters, and that's really what I feel like growing when you grow through something or any event in life or just grow older and start gaining more life experiences, you can develop these filters that you can acknowledge every single emotion that you have, put it through a filter before it gets to your actions. So it's like, you know, I didn't feel like eating for a really long time, like after the accident. I just didn't feel like it. I you know, but I had to choose to eat anyway, you know, because my filter says, nope, no matter what, your body needs food.
Because logically you're processing the emotion, but you know what the healthy action is to take.
Exactly. So that's how you figure out what your filters are. Like, what do you believe? What kind of an impression do you want to leave on people? You know, like if you're
what kind of character do you want to have?
Exactly. Like if there's a situation like somebody does something really hurtful and you're in a group, you know, like if your feelings are, I want to punch them. You know, like don't. Yes, like don't.
You can thank us later. Great advice.
Right. But if the person did something really wrong, if the person did something really terrible or hurtful, like that emotion is not, the emotion that you had is not wrong. But you so allow yourself to feel that, like, no, that's injustice. Like I'm upset because this person, it was injustice, but you can't, like your filter says, no, you need to act with grace, act with kindness, or whatever it is that you want to hold yourself to, like whatever your filters are.
It's so interesting though, because finding that filter, I think it can be hard depending on your mental, like if you're not healthy.
That's why it's important
and
to
you
have
can
people
learn,
around you who are going to like hold you accountable, like pour into you, speak truth, like not let you just like fly off the handle. Like it's important to have girls around you who be like, hey, I love you, let's like do this together, you're not alone. That kind of thing is like, oh my goodness,
so
invaluable.
important. And with depression
so
too,
valuable.
Depression is, you know, the trickiest one. Like these are obvious examples, like, oh, so you don't punch somebody, you know, like that's obvious. But like when it comes to depression, it's like, I don't feel like going out. It's a case by case. Like you can say, okay, I acknowledge that feeling, that emotion is valid for whatever reason. It's the daylight
the sun time.
Right, the sun's only out for like 2 hours.
Kind of sucks. I do have to say that. I'm kind of like,
no, my spirit feels it. I'm like,
I feel it. It's
I'm like,
true.
I don't.
It's true.
I don't like this time of year.
Yeah, and you decide to go outside for the 2 hours, and then it's like too cold, so you like run back. But
don't think the sun ever fully rises. But anyway, I'm like, come on.
So basically, like, it's whatever filter you develop for that you have to know yourself, and you know yourself also by choosing to be with people who love and care about you and who will kind of steer you back when you are maybe going off track. If you're not, if
the truth.
Yes, and I remember in the beginning, so like right after the accident, I was.
Wait, can you pause? Because I feel like this is awkward to explain this. Sorry. But I have to explain, I think, to people who don't know what's going on. So I'm sorry it's going to be awkwardly worded. So Tiffany's Tea Talk was obviously about a lot of things. But Tiffany's long-term boyfriend passed away a little over a year ago. So in our Tea Talk, like I said, we talked about a bunch of things. But when she's referring to the accident, that's what she's referring to. No. I just realized I didn't give... context.
It was very sudden. It was it was the only time I'd ever experienced a tragedy like that, and so there was a time that I didn't leave my house, you know, and my friends came to me, like everyone came to me, and that was amazing. And you know, there were choices that I had to make during that time, like leaving my door open. Like I had to let people in. That was my filter.
Like you couldn't just shut off.
I couldn't. No, because like at the time, it wasn't a matter of I don't feel like going out, but I should. No, it was like, I don't feel like letting anyone in, but I should. You know, so the but I should thing, like that just, you have to just know yourself. And luckily I had so many people that were just charging in, you know, like I didn't really have to ask for that, because I'd gone through things, you know, in the years leading up to that event where these people pressed in and, you know, like they were there, so it was like primed, they were there. But there did come a time, like a couple months later, where I did have to start easing into, okay, well now I'm eating again, I'm sleeping again, everyone's gone back to work.
The trauma,
and then the filters change, you know, now it's not about letting people in, it's about...
That's the hardest time, or at least for me, like after the
shock
hype of everything settles down, and it's like
everyone moves on, but you're still going through it.
Struggle that you're going through, and it's kind of like quiet and unspoken and unseen, like that kind of like wrestling with heartbreak and hurt and pain, whatever, if it's emotional or physical, that's like one of the hardest times. And that's where it's like really important to do like the little small things, as like whatever small and like seem like needless as they may seem, they're so important to like like
grab onto.
Yes, exactly. Hold on tight to.
They do function like community. They do, like when you like the way something I've loved about Bonnie Kate.
I don't know.
Ever since we met, okay, like we'll just be outside, and she'll like lock on something on the ground somewhere, and I'm like, what happened? And she'll like beeline,
and I'll usually like gasp or scare people.
Teeny tiny little flower.
I love
like
that
a teeny tiny little flower, and she'll come up with a personality for it, and like, and it comes so naturally, because this is how Bonnie Kate learned to see the world as a part of this is part of the filter you develop when you went through what you went through, you know, and even before that, like even meeting your family, it's like, oh, I know.
Now I get it.
Now I know. Yes. I wish that everyone had a chance to go and stay in Louisiana.
Come, you're welcome.
I'm going.
I'm
coming.
Seriously.
I'm so excited.
They spoil you.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, you're gonna have so much fun.
But, you know, like that's what that too is, it's infectious, it's life-giving, because it's joy, you know, like joy exists even where sadness is.
Oh,
it's a
despite
choice.
It. It's like, it's, and like my family's known that. We've been through so many hard things, but like that doesn't take away from, like the heartbeat of everything, which is like not secure in our circumstances, but like that comes from God. Like that is like a ever springing deep well that is
It's like
just,
magic.
Yeah,
It is. It's
but
like magic.
real.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, like,
but it exists.
Yeah, it's
No, I
so
know.
true.
And like something, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say I love that.
Oh, okay.
Take it away.
But something my therapist, I love therapy.
I love that.
Said something my therapist said was that joy. So sadness is a feeling. Joy is not a feeling. It's something you possess, which means it can be found. It can be pursued. It can be discovered. Like it's like it's something that you can hold in your hands, even if you're feeling sad or feeling happy. And this is the pursuit of joy. I think is learning to see beauty in little things. And creating things, being in
100%.
community.
One of the biggest things that has been like my prayer, even before the shooting, when I was going through a whole bunch of other hard stuff, I was reading this book called Hind's Feet on High Places. I don't know if
What's it called?
Hind's Feet on High Places.
Heinz?
It's an allegory, and
What is an allegory?
It's like
Like, I don't know what an allegory
It's
is.
like
I was homeschooled, okay?
No, me too.
Oh, well,
But
I wasn't that well at
No,
home, so
no.
I didn't do that great.
It's basically a story about this character named Much Afraid. So, and you don't really know if she's a deer or a girl, but it's her journey like to the high mountain places. You could think of it as heaven, whatever. I don't know. It's like an allegory, so it's like a kind of like a
It represents
imagery.
something else. It represents a concept. It's
Oh,
like,
that's what an allegory
it's like
is.
getting physical characters and telling a
Gotcha.
story
Right.
where, you know, like, did you ever read The Pilgrims Progress?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
it's like
that's
that.
an
That's an
allegory.
Forgot
allegory.
about that book. That's a throwback.
I know.
That was
No,
a good
right?
one.
Okay, so I was
I have
reading
mixed memories of it. Anyway, I'm sorry, go.
Yeah. And I'm like, Pilgrims Progress.
I feel like it was a book that was assigned that I
totally.
never read.
Totally was an assigned book. Yeah.
Crammed
Yep.
right before the test. Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, go on. Okay, so an allegory.
So, Hind's Feet on High Places. There's this, as Much Afraid is going through the desert, she comes across this little yellow flower. And it's like in the middle of this dry, barren wasteland, like scorching sun. And she's like, "What's your name, little flower?" And the flower like looks back up at Much Afraid and like says in this sing-song voice, like, "My name is Acceptance with Joy." And I was just like, oh, like it just got me. And I was like, I want to be that little yellow flower in the desert. Like, God, please give me acceptance with joy. Like, things might be terrible and so hard. Like, help me to have the courage to accept those things and to be joyful in the midst of them. Even if I'm in this bleak, barren desert where I don't see a drop of water or anything growing in sight. Like, help me to have acceptance with joy. And I think that is like, I don't know, that's always been something that I've been striving for, is like to be grateful and joyful even whenever things are bleak. Like, it sounds like cliche, but it really does change the way you think, you know? Like,
absolutely.
It doesn't sound cliche
and
at all.
I mean, trying to avoid the feeling of sadness, I think, could be really counterproductive to acceptance and joy, because part of what you have to accept sometimes are emotions that you don't necessarily want to carry.
It's so
Wait,
true.
back up to the beginning of that sentence, because I was just thinking so much about what you just said. I missed the first part of what you said.
Just the part of acceptance with joy, like, part of what you're accepting is the sadness. So
it's not like you're like, oh, I'm not going to be
trying to avoid sadness.
Which is so my personality too. Like, I don't know if anyone knows what the Enneagram is, but
I do, and why do people keep talking about that? Is it a personality test?
Yes.
Okay, because I hear people talk about it, and I'm like, it's a new one, but I don't know what this is.
It's awesome because it's like based on fear and motivation and not behavior. So like, it's not like
can you take this test online?
Yes. And I feel like you do better even just reading about it. But I was 7, and like, should we wait for the
train? Choo choo.
Oh, that might be a minute.
Okay.
The trains are.
I think it's fine. I'm also a little bit worried about the lighting, but I'm not that worried though, because I'm also a little jank and a half as a like my channel.
We could turn
in
on
general.
these lights,
time
so that
change.
It's what
it's
happens.
true.
It's getting darker.
Dan says that to me when I don't like a shadow. He's like, shadows exist in real life, but just saying. I'm like, okay. So Enneagram, you're a 7. Yeah,
and so like, which is so ironic because like, as a 7, like my biggest fear is like is pain. And so like, you might not think like that would be the thing, but the way I cope with pain is like by distracting myself and being busier and like turning on the sunshine and being happier. And it's been so helpful for me, like learning about that and knowing that about myself, and then also seeing like this strange, like severe mercy of like God giving me these hard things and not letting me be like a shallow 7 or like a shallow happy-go-lucky, like avoid the pain. It's like I've had to face so many hard things, and it's been really hard, but at the same time, like it's allowed me to be so much more compassionate, understand, like be able to enter into other people's suffering and to understand. And it's like really hard, but at the same time, like what an honor and a blessing to be able to understand. Like sometimes I would wish, like, oh my gosh, just take it away, I don't care, I don't want to be whatever, I'd rather be shallow. But at the same time, it's like, no, that's not true. Like it's like a really great thing that God's given me all these different things and these people, I know. Yeah, and now I have like a deeper understanding of for joy in a way. And I think both of y'all do, like,
I have a very big appreciation for, I don't know if we'll call it joy, I guess we'd call it happiness, but I have a very big appreciation for when I feel like those happy moments, because I just was so parched from them for so long. But it's interesting hearing you say acceptance first off, also with you saying that you're grateful, you're almost like grateful for what God has given you, like this depth. It's, Dan and I were having this conversation, and I don't know the exact quote of the verse, but that God works all things together for good. And Dan was like, well, and I don't even think he really meant it when he said it, because he kind of backpedaled a little bit, but he's like, well, but it's not good, like if a kid gets leukemia or something like that. And I was like, that's not what I'm even saying. I think that there are things that we can't even necessarily put our finger on in the moment, or with people that we're affecting, or things that are happening around it. It's that I think he works things together. It's not everything that happens is good, you know?
Obviously this is terrible. Obviously what happened with capitalism. Obviously
it's
your
like,
chronic pain and your hip and your...
It's not like he mandates terrible things so that he can make something good out of it.
It can work together, and something good can come out of it. I mean, I know that's a very deep discussion, but that just made me think of that. And then also the acceptance thing. A lot of people have been saying things, I've noticed. I've seen comments come through, or someone said this to me in real life, like why you? Like, why do you have to go through that? And I always have this thought of like, well, why not me? Like, what about a girl that was trafficked? Like, why her? What about you that were shot? Why you? And I think that like part of the acceptance too is also coming to a place of like, all right, well, why not me? Like everybody's dealing with something. And then I guess this thought is really trailing off into like a non-deep oblivion, but like then everything else you said of just like the acceptance of like, well, it's happening to me. It is what it is. And then all the things that you said, finding the joy in the little things.
And we have no idea what beautiful things God's going to grow out of this
thing.
Like that's the most exciting part to me, is like a lot of times we can't see it and we probably won't see it, but like I'm thinking about your garden in your dream, where just like all those things were growing up, and it's like,
was this a recent dream?
Pain.
This was kind of recurring. I've had it a couple times, but like,
are you comfortable sharing it, or is that just completely take you off the path you were saying? I'm sorry.
I don't want to interrupt you.
That was me.
That was just like God grows beautiful things, and that's exciting. Bug.
Sorry. Go on. Sorry.
Oh,
so awkward. I distract everyone.
No, you're the best.
That he grows beautiful things.
Yes, out of like the hardest and worst things. Like we don't see it, we don't know it all the time, but like he is doing a beautiful work in the midst of the most horrific things. And like that is true. That is real. Even when we are blinded and can't see it and don't feel it, that's the truth, you know? It's true. It's true. And I see it in you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
Whoo! Everyone's got Kleenex, right?
Kleenex! Hopefully on hand.
On hand.
On hand.
Nikki released a new TikTok video.
Yeah. Grab the Kleenex. What were you going to say?
The dream was, it was me. I had this garden, and I remember in the dream, it was so vivid. I was so excited. Like I was in this garden, and I had all these beds planted, and all the flowers were up, and they were exploding. It was like colors that I had never seen before. And, you know, flowers that were so big, you know, they looked like trees. And it was like, I was so excited. And I remember like running to open the gate so that people could come in. And I let these people in. Like I was like, guys, look, you know, like, look at all this. And some people appreciated it and laughed and, you know, just played in the flowers, and that made me so happy. But then other people were like setting things on fire and like chopping things down and stomping on things and like, you know, like just, and I
crazy
was
on the
watching,
flowers.
Destroying.
I became so focused on like those people that were destroying things. Like I ran around and I kicked everybody out. And I was like, no.
Mm-hmm.
And I pushed everyone out and I locked the gate shut, and it kind of like creaked open a little bit, and I remember feeling really scared, like almost like a nightmare, like scared that something even worse was coming. And I'm looking around and there's like all this, you know, devastation in this garden that I was so excited about, and I felt like an idiot for even being excited at first to like let people in. And then it was like God came and told me that it was okay to let people back in and to just see. It's like, just see. He's like, you don't need to replant these beds. I'm doing it.
Wow.
I'm taking care of it. And I, in that moment, just kind of didn't really do anything. I was just sitting there, and the gate kind of creaked open some more, and I walked through the garden. I got up and I started walking and seeing that it wasn't gone. Like the devastation wasn't real. Like nothing had really been trampled. Like I saw it. I thought I was watching this whole thing be destroyed and like be set on fire. Like I remember seeing flames. I saw flames. Like I saw charred trees and flowers, and then but when I went walking through again after he said that to me, like it was bigger and more beautiful than I saw before. And he was like, people can't destroy this.
Wow.
And when I woke up, I was like, it was so vivid and long, and I woke up and I was like, it's my heart. Like I can let people in, and even if they do things that are hurtful, like I can learn how to decide who comes in and who doesn't. But they can't destroy anything.
Yeah.
You know, like that was so empowering for me, and it was like it stopped me from being so closed off. And this was like 6 years ago. This was a while ago, and I've had it a couple times. But that reminder of like, this can't be destroyed. You can feel hurt for a time, but that will heal, and you'll learn how to navigate, and you'll learn how to identify
grow
safe
it back
people.
Even bigger.
Yes.
And like
even
better.
bigger and better. Like every wound, everything was like set on fire. And I've lived out that reality. I've lived out that truth since that dream. When you know, like letting someone in and having this relationship and having a lot of difficult things happen inside that relationship, and then losing them tragically. It's like I let someone in, and oh my God, if ever there was a forest fire.
Yeah. It's like God's let you be living proof of that dream.
It was almost
Which
like he
is
was
so
preparing
Which is crazy. I know.
But yeah, like, and I love that truth so much, and I feel like people, kind of like what we said in your tea talk that we did, that, you know, like it's a lot of us try to avoid pain. Like we try to avoid hurt.
Yeah.
Because we associate pain with failure and loss, and you know,
shame.
like, well, you're not going to be able to live the beautiful life that you could have because you're in pain, because this thing happened, because this person stole something
Which is
from
a
you.
lie.
Yes, like thinking that someone can steal something from you that cannot be recovered. Like there are things that can be taken, like rape victims.
Or like
something was taken.
Yeah.
Something was taken from you by someone, and your knee will never be what it was before. But the joy doesn't exist in your knee.
No.
You know, like,
and it doesn't even take away from it. It can't.
And you have to walk with a crutch, and you have to hike in a wheelchair, but you know, in learning to do those things, like your joy, which is preserved separately, is growing. You know.
And
I love you. So but you know, like, and we're allowed to hurt, and that's the other thing. Like that's the other thing. Like I started out by saying, like, how do we beat the sadness of the winter time?
We're like, let's just bask in it.
But it's like, but maybe
it's winter
because we're joyful.
It's not even winter yet. How am I gonna live through this? You brought me here, Tiffany.
I accept that.
I'll live.
But
I'll be
I'll
just
take
fine.
the blame for that. Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy.
I know. I'm really happy that I'm here too.
Same. But yeah, just like the girl who was raped, she can never get that back. Like she can't. But her heart, like that garden in my dream, that can't be destroyed. That can't be touched. Like no one can get in there and steal or burn or destroy anything.
Yeah.
But the pain is so real that we're convinced that something was destroyed.
Yeah.
But it's knowing the difference. Like, the pain doesn't mean that you were destroyed.
Yeah.
No. Like, all the hope and all the brighter flowers and taller trees are ahead.
They're ahead.
You know?
I mean, I feel like I'm living that right now. Like, I can't even believe how, and how to word this, how deep of a funk I was in coming out the other side. I'm like, whoa,
so you can finally see it and feel like the opposite of it.
The opposite of it. And what's crazy about that is now that I'm coming out of it, I still feel like I have so far to, it's almost like I didn't know how far I had floated away from shore. And then I'm like starting to come back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was that far. Like, but I'm so thankful that I'm getting closer. It's like I'm being brought back to life, and like I had forgotten who I was in so many ways. And so I did a whole video talking about this, that just like, I want to encourage any of you that feel like this is it or this is forever, that it definitely doesn't mean it's forever.
No.
Because I can't even believe how just far gone I was. I didn't even realize it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't even, because like you said, it's a slow
very
thing
subtle,
that happened. And then all of a sudden, I guess I just wasn't the same person anymore. And it's just amazing to see, like you said, that the garden has, it's like, oh, it's there.
It's
and it's
growing bigger.
And it's growing bigger. It's growing bigger. Like, my dad, actually, not to derail off of this, but my dad visited over the weekend, and my mom just called me yesterday, and she was like, your dad said he's never seen you happier. And I was like, I know, like, but I thought that when he was here, I was like, I knew that my dad had not ever seen me like that, because I feel like, A, I've come back to life, but B, like, I was giggles so much, because when we talked about emotions, so this is kind of one thing I was thinking when we were talking about, like, not trusting emotions or like your filter or whatever. One thing about, and I know we are going to have some serious editing to do with this lighting. I'm so sorry. I hope you guys are all watching
it's
with
fine.
a candle.
No, it's become nighttime.
Exactly.
Right?
It's nighttime in Rosemary. So when you guys were talking, which I hope, did I derail you before you finished a thought?
No.
Okay, good. I just wanted, because I was about to go off on a tangent. I want you to be like,
Go.
and I was
there
almost
are no
done.
tangents.
I was almost done with my points.
All of our
No.
conversations, or at least all of my conversations that I'm involved with people, are tangents.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. So you had me thinking, when we were talking about emotions and like not trusting emotions, I think that I had gotten to a place, like I said earlier in my life, where I was lumping everything like that. Like, oh, you can't trust emotions. Emotions are fickle. And then I went to this place where, like, oh, I have to pay attention to emotions. And now one thing I've realized is, like, I have to notice, and my therapist always calls it just noticing, the things that, I keep using this word, that elicit a happy reaction, a happy emotion.
Yeah.
Because I had, I think, written off
Flowers.
emotions. Yes. I think because I had written them off for so long. Don't trust emotions. They're fickle. I had almost I was writing off of paying attention to when I felt good. And
which ends up with you numbing yourself.
Yes, totally. Numbing yourself. And because I've become more attuned now to, like, well, what does make me feel good? I mean, that's another part of the piece of me moving here, is coming to this realization of, like, oh, every time I hear music, I can't help but feel like I want to boogie. Like, oh, every time I hear...
We need to have a boogieing cutaway.
Yes, 100%.
A boogie cutaway. Can we do it right now?
Yeah, boogie cutaway. Boogie cutaway. Yeah. No, but like, it's every time, and I didn't really notice it for so long. Like, how I managed to cut music out of my life for so long is beyond me, now that I've realized.
Did
like,
you even
literally
realize that you were missing it when you were in it?
I mean, in the beginning I did, because every time music would play, I would start sobbing, so I only listened to talk radio for like 2 years.
And you've done a
Did you
Rosemary
really?
Sessions, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to ask
too.
them at some point, once I'm a little more confident in my piano.
Well,
and
you need to sing. You also need to be in the back when
I
they're
would.
recording.
That would be a dream.
Yep, we're gonna make it happen.
Rosemary
You have
Sessions
to.
is a
It's
series that happens on their
I'm trying
channel.
to get Allie to do it.
Where they
so
do
if she does it, then we'll
acoustic
be in
music. I would
Allie's
love that.
Tiffany's
Yes.
roommate.
Oh, I think she's the one that you told me that wrote you the song.
Molly?
Molly. That was
Molly.
Molly. My roommate.
Allie's your
do you
roommate,
know the
who
band
I literally
Joseph. the band Joseph. It's
They're
3
amazing.
sisters.
No, I didn't even know till last week you had a roommate.
Allie. Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
2. I have
I
2.
did no idea.
They're both amazing. You're gonna love
Yeah.
them.
Allie's, they're both sweet. Amazing people.
Mm-hmm.
But Allie's in a band.
Gotcha. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, it was like 2 years I didn't listen to any music, only talk radio. It was really weird. I just got really into talk radio. And if anyone tried to turn music on, I'd be like, no, seriously, I don't listen to music. Like, I get all serious.
I can't even imagine you being like that, Nikki.
Do you ever do things that maybe no one else does, but like in retrospect, you're like, oh, I am so dramatic. Like, sometimes I look back and I'm like, I pulled that on people?
No, my
like,
life is very dramatic. I mean, everything. Max is always like,
Yeah, it's like just drama all the time.
But he's also really dramatic, so we're...
Yeah, you are a dramatic duo.
Yes, we are. Over the
Is
top
Dan ever
passionate.
dramatic?
Sometimes. He's dramatic in different ways, but he's not dramatic in the same way
Is he
as me
dramatic
at
whenever
all.
he gets sick?
Yes.
That's how Max is dramatic. That's a guy thing I'm fighting
Totally. I'm like, oh, it's okay. You're okay. But as a generalization, no, Dan's not that dramatic.
No.
I'm the dramatic one. But
Yeah.
it's great. Point being, notice what makes you feel good. Notice everything. Like you said, you don't want to be numb. You want to notice
Be
because they
attentive.
can guide you. But there is this line, like you said, of using the filter of really judgment to know when you're hurting yourself. And that's hard to get to that place
Wisdom.
sometimes.
And like, it's,
Wisdom.
you never fully arrive. You're always growing.
And
in
it's
that.
gained through openness, whether that's a therapist or friends or family members that you feel safe talking to, like trusting with your story.
Yes.
Trusting with how you're feeling, like keeping it bottled up, I think is the most harmful thing.
It's so toxic.
Because it matters, like
Yeah.
even if it's just a low level sadness that we're talking about, like the seasonal thing.
Yeah.
Even if it's a low level sadness, just saying it out loud
Yes.
is really
It kind
powerful.
of takes the
sharing it with
like it seems so much bigger, but whenever you speak things out, it oftentimes gets smaller.
and
Yes.
When you're
9 times out
feeling
of
it.
10, you find out you're not the only one.
Oh,
yes,
of
exactly.
course.
Yeah.
Was it this Tea Talk or was it in ours where someone was talking about prayer?
Maybe me. I'm not sure. Yeah, probably me.
Okay.
That's one of the for me that's like
A huge thing.
huge. Like
What is your?
Right.
Is this a vague question to ask? Like what
No.
your prayer life looks like? Or is
I
that,
feel like
like-
it's a continual like throughout the day constantly. I don't. It's like a always like thinking, praying, talking like with God. Whether
Continual
I'm like it's not
conversation.
like okay, let me get on my knees in the morning and like,
Yeah.
pray like
Same time every morning.
yeah no
Yeah.
no. It's more of like even sometimes like when I'm just like noticing the leaves, I'm like wow God that's amazing or thank you or
Yes.
like or if I'm actually hurting, then I'm like, God, please help me. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Or it's a kind of a constant thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like my prayer life is I like
is in a box.
pray at this time every day for
Yes.
this amount of time.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just like a continual thing. Whenever I think about someone, I'll be like, oh, I miss Tiffany. Oh God, please like be with Tiffany and encourage her. Or like things like that. Or it's just like a
Yes.
daily sort of continual thing. And there's something outside. God, please be with whatever is happening
They
there.
knew that we were filming Tea Talk.
Yeah,
They are rushing to get here so they can join.
Cannot wait.
Oh,
Oh, I'm like, we'll wait for that to go.
yeah.
I love this kid.
I love your old little thermos up there.
Isn't it perfect?
It
It
is
says
so
holiday on
nice.
it, which
Oh,
it just makes me the happiest. But
that's
I did break it on the inside, which is sad.
Nobody
but it
needs
still
to
is
know that.
cute.
Yeah, it's still cute.
It's cute. So if you try to drink it, you'd be like,
You'd be
glass.
Oh yeah, let's not drink out of that thermos then. No drinking out of the
No.
thermos.
But it's really cute.
I love hearing though that your prayer life is like a conversation, because prayer has been a big thing that changed for me this last year in the midst of all of this.
Tell me.
So the biggest thing is that for some reason, this is going to sound so weird, I'm just going to be honest. For some reason, God is all of a sudden hanging out on my left shoulder all the time. Like when I'm praying, I just for some reason picture and feel like he's literally right here. I don't even know how to explain
That's
it.
where my mom sits.
Really?
Wait, what?
Stop. What do you mean by that?
That's where my mom sits, like just constantly like.
Oh, like in a bad way. Just constantly like.
I love my mom,
But that's where
has
she
a
sits.
prominent voice on my shoulder. Yes.
Yeah, I have no idea why God ended up right here, but he's been right here for the last 8 months, something like that. Another big thing that's changed is that I had this realization that I will try to, schedule my life, be really disciplined. I'm getting up at this time. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And what it happened over the last few years is all of my disciplinary ways started to fail me. I actually started to be less disciplined. Things weren't showing results, both in physical therapy and in my work life. Like, it just wasn't, the life I was trying to control wasn't turning into what I wanted. And I had this realization all of a sudden where I was like, why am I trying to put my life on this really specific schedule? Because I work for myself. Yeah, and there's like no reason for me to be like, it has to be like this. Right. So I was like, mornings are hard for me to get out of bed, to get going. So I'm like, why don't I just start my mornings in prayer? Actually, I just had a ding light bulb moment. When that light bulb moment happened, it was when I was staying at Urban Cowboy here in Nashville. First night here. I was like, why do I do that to myself? I have to get up and go. Like, and it just doesn't make sense because there was literally no reason because I could make my own hours. So since then, I'd say 80% of my life now, it's a little more than that, 70% of my life, I don't even start my day now until I feel like all of my prayers are out. Like, I'll start in the morning.
That's beautiful.
And I will pray everything that's on my mind. Like, I don't know if this is blasphemous or bad. I feel like it is and I hope it isn't, but I dump all of my cares, both hard things, weighty things, onto the Lord in the morning.
No, that's what
and I won't get up until it's gone. Like, and that's what I've been doing now for the last few months. And some mornings I'll be in bed praying for like 3.5 hours.
I love it.
But then all of a sudden it's like he'll lift it from me and I'm like, oh, I can get up. I can go now.
I'm good.
And it's not like that's every morning of the week by any means. But my prayer life has completely changed.
But I think it's so beautiful. And that's exactly what our Father wants us to do. Like, He asks us to pour it out on Him. And like, that's a real thing of like burdens being lifted. Like, when we try to control it and do it all ourselves, we're trying to carry all that. And we're not meant to carry everything. Yeah. We're not meant to carry all the pain and all the sadness and all the ache and all the funk and all that sort of stuff. We're supposed to like give it to Him.
Yeah. Like, and it was a good indication for myself as to how out of touch with my emotions I was, because I started realizing through prayer that a lot of times I got to a place in my life where I couldn't even say in prayer what I really felt. Like, I would notice, I would drift into like what I was going to say to someone to try to fix something, or like what the situation was, or how I needed to control it or fix it. And I was like, no, how are you feeling? And tell God. And I realized like, dang, that's actually really hard for me, and that's kind of sad, and that says that I'm kind of a little out of touch. And praying more and cultivating that relationship has just, I don't know, it's helped a lot with like the burdens as well as my awareness. You know, so I don't know, and then throughout the day as well. But the morning thing has been the most striking. But and did you mention something? Was that you? That was you that mentioned about prayer.
I think that was probably me.
Does prayer pray into? Sorry, I interrupted you. Does prayer pray into your life?
For me, it's definitely a conversational thing. It's not like there's a set time or place. And a lot of times, to be honest, it's like in my thoughts. You know, it's like sometimes I'll say things out loud, but mostly it's a it's like a dialogue.
Yeah, mine's entirely in my head.
Mine is too. Yeah. Most of the time.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
I'm like
what is that girl doing?
Yeah. It's interesting. Do you find it as something that helps you?
I find it, absolutely. And I think that it's become, that's where all my filters come from. You know, like that's the process that runs whenever I'm feeling something and need to figure out how to conduct myself.
Through prayer.
As a result, it's, from this process, this conversation, that I get wisdom. You know, like
it's
clarity.
Totally.
And there's a lot to it, but it's like, I know that I'm not having this inner dialogue with myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I know that it's not two parts of my personality connecting, or like, No, like these are things that were outside of my consciousness, that through this conversation entered my consciousness. And
it's amazing, isn't it?
I can't, and like I what I love too is that just being raised in the church and being around a lot of different doctrines, it always felt like it was something that you had to prove to people. Like it always felt like, oh well, if you're really praying or talking to God, this is what it looks like and this is what it sounds like. And I kind of subscribed to that and felt like a failure for a
or
long
like
time.
legal.
I was
You're
just like,
it's
legalistic.
it was so legal,
Mm-hmm.
and I just like when I left the church entirely, and didn't know what I believed, and like was seeking through all these different things, and kind of on my own found my way back to what I believe to be true. It was the same God, and it was, but it wasn't all of that stuff.
All of the stuff that people had put on you.
It's so personal, and like, because when I would try to pray like they were telling me I had to, I didn't feel peace. Like, I felt like it was anxiety is what it was. Like, I was having like panic attacks, like trying to do this right. But now I get why it's so personal and why it's not supposed to be proven to anybody, because it is so personal.
Yeah.
Because I feel a personality, you know, that I don't think I would ever have been able to sense if I was like being militant about the legalistic way to pray, you know, like,
yeah, it's a relationship.
It is so personal. So like, however anybody prays, I'm like, oh yes, like that is it. Well, then that is exactly, if that's where you're getting your wisdom and your peace from, that's how you should do it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And it's different for everyone. It really is.
Yeah, that's why I was so curious. I mean, it's just helped. Yeah, it's just changed so much for me this year. Like I said, literally the reason I said the 3.5 hour thing is because I'm like, never. Like, what?
Yeah.
But it's because it's. I mean, and that's, like I said, literally, it's not like a repeating
but
thing.
even if it was, even if it was, that's okay. Like, if that's how it is, then that's how it is. And like, even getting on your knees in the morning, even if you do, because we were like joking about that, but like, just because that's more so like a,
and it's good.
It's beautiful.
Yes, I
like,
couldn't get on my knees if I wanted to,
right,
but like, you know, it's
right.
like, it's
But any which way it is, like, and even just for me, and this is the God's honest truth, total vulnerability, like, I'm still making my way back to the church, and there's a lot of thoughts and feelings that I have about it, but for people who don't believe in God, or, you know, don't really have a prayer or thought life that kind of produces anything, I would like to encourage, it didn't start out as me thinking of it as prayer. It started out as me thinking of it as like, actually did start out thinking I was talking to myself. And through that, I kind of opened a door to something really true. And I realized it was someone else. You know?
I was just going to say, because people have asked me before when I've talked about prayer, like, how do you pray? What is it? And I was going to say, like, a conversation.
A conversation.
You
know?
Legit, which is incredible. Like, let's just talk about that for a second. That we are literally talking to, like, the God who created and spoke everything into being, and we just can, like talk to him about, like, stomping your toe, or, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, he cares.
There's no right
he knows
or
us,
wrong
and
way.
he loves us. And it's
he's a
real.
good father. Like, if he calls himself a good father, why would he pick and choose what he hears?
That's who you are.
It's true.
It's who I am. Sorry, that song always comes to my head when someone says, a good father. Go on, sorry.
Side note.
Yeah.
But, like, why would there be, like, a topic that's off limits?
Exactly. That's exactly it.
So
even
true.
if it's, you know, swearing and screaming and anger. And, you know, like, that's...
He can take that.
If it's in us, it was meant...
And he already knows it.
Yeah, it's not like it's a surprise. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Bonnie Kate is... Whatever.
Yes. There's so many times where in prayer, like, I'll say it just because I'm like, I know you already know this anyways. Like, so I might as well just admit it. And it feels different admitting it or saying something that I might be like, ugh. Because it's just, I don't know, it feels different, even though he already knows, but it's like, he knows. So just, like, say it.
And it's the same thing with, like, speaking things out, like, to your friends, or being honest with whoever. Like, this hard thing, whenever you speak it out, it loses its power. And it's like, I don't know, darkness and strength. Like, whenever things are hidden, or whenever you're trying to hide them and keep them secret because of, like, shame or fear or whatever the thing is, like, that is, like the most poisonous thing. But when you speak it out, it loses its power. Like, darkness dies in the light. And when things are spoken out, people can enter in, and God can, like, take that from you and comfort you, or bring you joy, or those sort of things. So, like, I don't know, happy, what is it called?
How to be happy January.
I think one of the biggest
Open
things.
up.
Yeah,
Yes.
be open and be honest and real, and like doing that, like maybe it feels like it will just make everything bigger or swallow you up, but it really loses its power.
And the shame is strong. Like, that's a really good point, is that shame is what keeps a lot of people from sharing things and silent. But again, like 9.999 times out of 10, you will be met with acceptance and welcome. You'll be met with, I'm not alone.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one. Ever since you started sharing with people about your injury, you get messages constantly about people, from people with chronic pain.
It's so humbling.
I get messages from people who are experiencing loss. You get messages from people who experience depression. All of it because on both ends, we decided that we were going to say something.
Yeah.
And I knew that it could be like loss isn't shameful, but there's a lot of judgment surrounding the way that people choose to grieve.
Oh,
like, there's
totally.
a lot of judgment.
So
like,
disgusting.
I had people telling me I was grieving too slow, grieving too fast.
What?
You know, like,
All the things.
oh, Lord. The things people say, the things people can say sometimes. But, you know, so there could have been a lot of shame that would have kept me silent about sharing my story on Instagram.
Yeah.
It was a risk every day, because I would get a lot of messages. Some of them were not so kind, but most of them, and that's why I say 9.999 is acceptance and welcome, and you're not alone, and people saying, you know, I read your story, I thought I was alone, and now I know that I'm not, and now I feel like I can start letting people in, and like,
so beautiful.
It's a domino effect. It's like, once that shame dies, and again, light kills shame too. It's beautiful, and there's healing, and then the joy, and then you possess the joy, and then happiness gets to like sprout out of
It's
you know, and it's okay to hurt, and like that's the other thing. Like, when the happiness isn't there, and it's sadness, and you're hurting, like, that's allowed.
Yes,
you are allowed.
Right,
to
it's
hurt.
okay to be.
Yes.
Sometimes Dan will look at me when I'm having one of those days, and he'll come over and he's like, Nikki, it's okay to be sad sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm
We
just
can
like,
still hang.
he's like, some days are just sad days.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to
So
accept
true.
it, but it's
Right.
true.
Because
you know?
true. Because you can still possess joy. You can still possess hope.
Yeah.
And
Hope.
pain is pain.
I like that word.
Yeah.
And I think that
It's important. It's a scary
super
word.
important. Yes.
It's a risky word, but it's a
risky word.
vital word.
Yeah.
And I
Because you
think,
hope you can get hurt, but
yeah.
you're
But
allowed to
also
hurt.
having like knowing, for me, like having a secure hope in Jesus is like the foundation of everything. I would not be alive. Like, literally, I would have given up a long time ago. And I'm sounding dramatic, but that's actually like a real fact.
Thing.
That like having a secure, unshakable hope that can't be destroyed, just like those garden flowers that can't be destroyed. Like, it's like so vital and necessary. Like,
I love that. I love also, how do I word this? Just, all I was thinking when you said that is like, I love the confidence that you speak about your faith with. And I just really appreciate that. I don't even know how else to word that, other than I'm just like, yes, Bonnie Kate. I mean, we have the same faith. I just appreciate your openness with it. And I always, I think from being on YouTube, whenever faith things are brought up, I automatically think of and see all the people who have, you know, completely different opinions and faiths. But I appreciate you sharing that, because that's also how I feel about my faith. I'm like, grab your hair's on my sweater. I'm all
like
sorry. I'll just
super long.
I'll start braiding it while I'm talking.
I'm like twiddling it down here.
I saw that. I was like, hair goals. But I mean, we have the same faith, and I just want to say, like, to any of you that are looking, because a lot of times people will say to me, like, what do I do? Find a local church. I think that's a great, if you're not like in a church, I think a great thing to do is to church hop, explore some places, see if you can find a community nearby of people that you resonate with. I think it's a really great place to start. I just wanted to like interject that if you're like, oh, what does that mean? Like, what do I do? Like, I think that's a great, I don't even know. I'm just chiming in. Look for a church, because that is true. That's how I feel.
And I wouldn't have been like this way for sure if it wasn't for, oh my gosh, my parents pouring into me ever since I was little, like encouraging me, and I don't know, and like God just like slowly growing and working in my heart ever since I was a teeny tiny little toddler. So like having people around you that like love you and are like point out the truth when you can't see it and things are hard or messy or whatever is like so vital and so important. Like we need each other. Like we need each other. Like it's, you know, God didn't just make us and we're on a little island by ourselves in him. It's like he created us and he created us for each other. Like one thing that's very interesting, not to get all like theological, but like in the beginning, like when God created Adam and he created all the other animals and things, like he said it wasn't enough. Adam needed Eve. He needed a helper. He needed a friend. Someone was there. Like God created us to need each other. And that's like why, like I feel like through vulnerability and being open and all these sort of things, we find so much healing is because that's the way God made us. We need each other. We need that kind of like honesty and openness and like to not like be alone. Like we're made for that. It's in our DNA.
Okay, so I want to say what I actually wanted to say 2 minutes ago because I wasn't sure if this was going to be a side tangent, but now that you said that, this still might be a side tangent, but this might resonate with someone out there because this is the place that I've been in for the last few years. So like 4-5 years ago, I started going through a place with my faith where like I was raised in a Christian home. So I kind of just, you know, when they talk about like accepting Jesus into your heart, that happened for me in like kindergarten. People are like, when were you saved? I'm like, I like kindergarten. That's kind of when it was. But then about 4 or 5 years ago, I got to this place where I started going like, I guess the simplest way is doubting, but it was like, what is it that I believe? Like, do I believe this? What is this? I started having questions and I was afraid to research and dive in because I loved what I believed so much that I didn't want to find things out that made me be like, oh, see, you were believing in a fairy tale and now I don't believe in it. And now what does my life even mean? But I ended up getting to this place where I was like, whoa, wait a minute. If I really believe this, if I believe this is actually true, then why am I scared to research? Because if this is actually true, if God exists, if the God of the Bible exists, if this is a really a thing, then I shouldn't have anything to be afraid of because if I research, I should be finding things that support that. And I think that a lot of people are scared to dive into issues of faith for different reasons. Maybe some of you resonate with me that it's like, well, I don't want to know that it might turn out to not be real. But you got to be really real with yourself. If it's not real, you're going to find out. You know what I mean? But if you dive in, you may be surprised that you find out, oh, it is real. And it's real in a way like I didn't expect to find it was real. And if I'm being honest, I'm in a place right now where I believe certain things. I believe in the God of the Bible, but I can only say I believe in the God of the Bible, I think, because I've never read the Bible cover to cover. I'm in the process of doing that right now. I've been in church my whole life, but I've gotten to a place where I'm like, all right, well, I don't have anything to be afraid of, and I don't think God would be mad at me for feeling this way, because I think he'd be like, great. If this is true, he'd be like, great, you know? Sorry, what were you going to say?
No, it's so important for us to be like, thinking and questioning and asking and looking because like at the end we will find him because it is true and there are like, you know, God can take your questions, like the scary like whatever things that you're thinking or pits in your stomach, like bring those out, like shed them to light, dig deep, question, like that's I feel like that's important. Like if you're not doing that, then like
part of your spirit is dying.
Well, you need to but like you really do. It's like important for us to be like sharpening ourselves and like being like aware and not just like, oh, I just want to be comfortable. Like we shouldn't be comfortable. We should be like constantly seeking and like diving into things. Like
I had a teacher when I was a senior in high school, and it was a Bible class, and it was the most interesting Bible class I ever had because we had to read the text from like 10 different religions. Like, I remember taking the Humanist Manifesto home.
Well, I don't even know what the Humanist Manifesto is. I don't even know what that is.
Secular humanism is a belief system, and it's basically where like humans are at the core. Like, there's not... Yeah, it's like the way that we have developed a moral code as humans without any higher power.
Gotcha.
And there's a manifesto. There's like a whole belief system. Wow. And I appreciated that class so much because I knew that the reason I believed was because it was what I had been told.
Yeah.
And I knew that whenever people asked me or grilled me about it, I shriveled like a little leaf. Like,
because it was like, I just believe this because I was raised with it.
And it would make me angry, and it would make me judgmental, and all of it was prickly defense mechanism because I didn't actually believe.
Yeah.
Right.
I
didn't dive deep and question yourself.
Yes, and so that class was like, wait a minute. You're allowed to say, I actually don't know what I believe.
Yeah.
Or why.
Yeah.
And then, if you do want to find out what you believe, study it all.
Yeah.
Like,
dig deep.
If something intrigues you about Buddhism, like, study that.
Yeah.
Dig into that. See if that actually makes sense. Like, research it.
Yeah.
What you're saying. And
I've
even
gone down that path.
Yeah,
not the Buddhism path yet, but I've been diving down other religions.
And I know, like, you
understand.
talking about that, really, I connected with what you said, because that was what I did. Like, in senior year of high school, what that class did was released me, gave me the freedom to study other things.
Yes.
And then when I did, there were so many hurts that I had from things I had experienced with the church.
Yeah.
And I was bundling them all up into the identity of who God is. And I was like, I don't like that judgmental, hateful, you know, like,
which is not
but
him.
then it's not. And like, I discovered that though through a journey that took me through so many other beliefs. Like, and it opened up this world where, like, people who are Buddhists, I've had some of the most loving, kind, mutually respectful conversations.
Yeah.
You know, Islam, you know, like, not, you know, just, and all the things that, I mean, anyone who researches Islam at all understands there's different kinds.
Yeah,
so you know, like, it's not all the same thing, and no one should ever assume anything about someone because they're Islamic. But, like, it allowed my heart to open up to loving people that I was only afraid of before.
Which is
People
so
of
beautiful.
other
That's
beliefs,
such
and,
a
like,
beautiful, like, that line
and
right
wouldn't
there.
it make
Open
sense?
my heart.
And like, wouldn't it make sense that on that journey I would discover this God?
Yeah.
Who claims to be love.
Yes.
You know, when he, in my mind and in my past experience, had been entangled with so much hatred and judgment, not because of who he is, but because of what scared
broken
people
did,
who were afraid to ask questions.
Yes,
so,
that's exactly
or who were afraid to be questioned, who couldn't handle that, you know.
Exactly.
And then, well, then we need to make more rules, and like, you know, like this weird reaction happened, and it became this thing that people started beating each other with instead of freedom.
Yeah. When I first went down that path, Dan did not want to go down that path with me, and it caused a weird thing, like, in our marriage, because I felt very alone in this space of like, what does he think I'm trying to do? Like, I'm not trying to go to another religion. I'm just trying to find truth, and I'm trying to be educated, and I'm trying to just learn. That's it. And he didn't want anything to do with it in the beginning.
Even if you were trying to go to another religion, you know, like,
but I mean, like, him seeing it as like just straight up, I'm just trying to go to another religion, like, exactly. But I was like, but that's not even what I was trying to do.
But even if it was, and that's what I mean. That's another fear thing.
Yeah.
Like, God forbid someone goes to another religion.
Yeah.
Like, if the search continues.
Yeah.
The truth will be found.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So even that's okay. Like, I thought I didn't want to be a Christian for a while.
Yeah.
Like, I was researching a lot of different things, and when people would ask me, I would just say, I don't know what I believe.
Yeah.
And it was true. I didn't. But there was this search running constantly, you know, and it slowly and steadily brought me back to this place where, and I call it it's like a different Christianity, because when people hear Christian in the world, like, there's so many things that automatically get linked with it, like the Westboro, you know, Baptist, and like just these hateful, like, God hates gays and like all this stuff, which you know, like, that is not. So, you know, it's this different, like, it's hard to say Christian sometimes because of what it's been made to mean. But this is where the path led. Back to this same God, but with a different identity than I thought he had before. You know?
So beautiful.
It's so beautiful. And I think that I think that's the moral of the story, is like not being afraid to search, having hope, continuing to move forward, and fight for happiness and hope and all of that,
and love, and to love people, and to love people. Because that's what gives people the safety to open up about the things that make everyone say, "Oh, we're not alone."
And honestly, back to like how to have a happy January. What is it?
How to be happy January.
Okay, that is like such an important thing too. Like, yes, do the things that like bring you joy and fill your cup. I think one of the biggest things is like look outside of yourself.
Yes.
Like if you're feeling funky, and sometimes when you focus on yourself more when you're feeling funky, it's gonna even more funkier. Look around you. What people can you love on? Like what sort of things? Like we're not created and like we're not here just for ourselves.
Yeah.
Like what a small package we would make, and what a like you know like it's not good whenever we're here. Like, obviously, to take care of ourselves and to, like, nurture and fill ourselves up. But we're also here to serve people and to love people and to, like, go out and do for others. And, like, as whatever, silly as it sounds, it really brings us more life than if we were to, like, be all about ourselves all the time.
100%.
Like, you know, that brings you joy. And also, like, that's one of the biggest things that helps me get out of, like, funks or clouds or, like, these hard things about me right now, like this pain or this whatever, it's not gonna go away. But like, oh look, there's my neighbor, I can like, let's go inside, maybe I can put flowers on the table, or what about like this person, maybe I'll give this person a call, or you know, like think about other people. Like that helps reset things, you know what I mean?
This is now making me feel like I want to all challenge each other to do like a kindness thing. Like what is which is and it's January. So.
Yeah, exactly. So it's perfect.
But like you know those story. What's your favorite kindness story? Like just a tiny little thing. Like I love the one where somebody's at a drive-through,
the Starbucks,
and they pay for whoever's behind them.
Oh, it's so good.
Or in on the highway at the toll station where they pay the tolls for like the 5 cars behind them. Like I love. There's so little things. There's so little, but that little kindness. Yeah, I know. And no one's gonna know who you are, so it's not like,
which is even better. Like praise me.
Yeah, exactly.
You're welcome. You know,
I'm great. I know.
No, just little things like that.
Yeah, I love that. I can't think of my favorite kindness story.
I guess I watch too many Facebook viral videos.
I think so. I was like, this is like trying to think of like, do I have one?
Make somebody a pie, or
because I feel like I have so many because of this viral video that had like all.
I feel like you should suggest the challenge. Think for 10 seconds. I want to just add on to what you said. I was having a really bad day like 2 weeks ago, and I called my dad and I was like, I don't have time to talk about this right now, but I just want you to pray for me. And he prayed for me, and in the prayer he also said, like, Lord, help Nikki to look outside of herself and see who she can support and help bring joy to. That line just like, oof. Yeah. It hit me, and it helped. I was able to look outside of myself that day. But
my mom always tells us that, like, whenever you're feeling like you've come at the end of yourself and you're like this and it's just so hard and you're wrapped up in yourself, like one of the best ways to get out of that is to focus on the people around you. Like if you're stressed out about like an interview or something, think about Nikki. Like you think about me. Or like if you're whatever, like be outward focused.
Yes.
And like
it's so true.
Golly, it's crazy how things like
I like that you just use the word golly in real life. Golly.
She does.
I didn't even know
where that came
the
from.
Sun will come out. In real life. No, it's I love that. It's beautiful. Tiffany, did that give you enough time to think of a happiness challenge?
Honestly, they're all coming from this same Facebook video.
Go ahead, think of one.
So I would say pay for the people behind you in line.
There we go.
Yes,
pay for if you're at McDonald's, or I can't eat McDonald's because of the gluten. The dairy problems.
But something
like someone's behind you in line, grab their drink. Just I mean, be careful though. Like if there's a person that seems like they might be dangerous,
don't pay for them.
Or what if you like baked cookies for your old neighbor next door that you don't really know, but
as long as you feel safe with them.
And then I've got the laziest, lowest one in the totem pole,
which is probably the safest.
It is the first person to pop into your head that you just take it as a sign and send them a text telling them something that you really appreciate or have noticed in them that you just love.
Ding 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 ding. That's the one. That's the one. Safety.
And just trust the name that pops up that they're the person that you're supposed to send this text to.
Yep.
And you're not going to get hurt.
You're not going to get hurt. No.
Ding ding ding. Be an
if you trust your neighbors,
bring them cookies. If you're at Starbucks or something like that.
Maybe make somebody a flower crown.
Yes.
That is.
Oh, we need is there a tutorial on that yet?
Yeah, she put it up, and it's down below now, apparently. It's linked.
Yeah, no, that's a must watch. That's a must watch.
Yep.
Yeah, it was beautiful. So, guys, this was just a beautiful talk, and it's
know.
everything I dreamed it would be because it was impromptu, and then it went and
We just rambled. Hope
See
you
what we
guys
did?
the
felt-
most beautiful conversation. Say what we did. So, let me know in the comments first off, because I'm assuming you're all going to want them to come back more, but just tell us that you want them to come back more, and we'll have many more beautiful conversations together. Do not forget to check them both out. I'll have all their social media, all of that linked down below, their channels. If you're watching on, or if you're listening on the podcast, I don't really know how to help you out. You're gonna have to go to my YouTube channel to look up their handles. I'm like, I don't know, at Tiffany, at Bonnie
KZ.
How do they do it?
Yeah.
How do they do it?
They don't. They're gonna have to go on social media. Dun dun dun.
Wow.
But we're glad you're listening, and I'm hoping that a lot of you guys are happy now that it's on podcast. If you didn't know this and you're watching, you weren't paying attention in the beginning, but we have podcasts now.
You have to have a very podcast like outro.
I know.
Like,
I was thinking
what
about
is it?
that.
What is it?
Until next
It's
time.
T-Talk.
Yeah,
But it's like,
but it's a happy.
How to be happy January.
Yeah.
Well, this is in a part of that series, but this T-Talk will just go on all year.
Yes.
Just every time we have a
Love it.
conversation. on it.
Yeah.
So, guys, thank you so much.
Cheers,
Yeah.
guys.
Cheers.
I'm gonna drink all my. Cheers.
Oh,
have
and
a
we
feeling-
love messages. Like, if you find us and want to write to us about
Yes.
anything that maybe sat on your heart from this
Yeah.
whole thing, we love.
Ask us all the questions.
Why do I have this feeling that this is something that people are going to come back to and watch over and over? Because I do that to videos sometimes when I just want to vibe.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I never
don't do that.
ever.
Kindness Facebook video.
Oh yeah, the kindness. All right, well, we'll let you go on that
Check
note.
out. Yeah.
Bye, guys. Have a fabulous day, and I'll see you back here soon with another Happy January.
Bye.